So the first step we're going to do in our maze game is to create a backdrop, and that is going to be where we put our maze and our obstacles for which we don't want the sprite to bump into. But before we do anything, we need to create a new project. So we go to the File menu and New. I'm not going to click on that because I've already done that. But I want to give my game a good name. I'm going to give my name Maze Game. The next step we're going to do is we're going to click on the backdrops. Now if you notice up here our tabs currently say costumes because our sprite is active. We need to click on the backdrop down here, and now our costumes has changed to backdrops. If we click on backdrops tab up here, we're going to be able to create new backdrops. So normally this would be called untitled or something like that. I've changed that by coming up here and typing maze and given it that backdrop an applicable name. And the way we are going to create our maze is we're going to use colors to determine whether or not we've bumped into an obstacle. So I'm going to use the color red to say that's the thing I don't want my sprite to bang into. Now there's a couple of which ways we can do this. The first one is by using our paintbrush tool. So you can change the line width of your paintbrush tool. So I'm going to make it this thick. And I'm literally going to paint out the path that I want the sprite to follow. So I'm going to create a few different paths here. Around like that. Okay, so there's my maze that I've created. Now that's a very simplistic maze. You can use the line tool. So the line tool, you can actually draw straight lines in here. If I hold down the shift key, you'll notice that it will draw either on the straight or on the diagonal. Okay. Otherwise, we can put in other obstacles later on too. And that is the first step in our backdrops. So when you're creating your backdrop, I want you to think about what kind of game you're actually going to make. So if you're creating a race car game, you could have the track as the path that you want to follow, and maybe the things that you don't want to bump into is the grass. And if you hit the grass, that's going to reset you back to the start. It might be that you are in the ocean and you're going to have different rocks and things that you don't want to bump into. So be creative with your maze. It doesn't have to be as simple as mine. The more creative, the better. Good luck.